Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, Glam by Vero. It's gonna be story time, and I'm gonna talk about when I was pregnant with my son and how that went. So I was really early when I found out I was pregnant, and I had gone to the hospital. So how that happened was one day on a Saturday night, I was like feeling like pain like on my lower belly, and it was like a pain that I couldn't handle. So my husband's like, just lay down, and like laid down, and so then I was feeling okay. So then Sunday morning got here, and I got up and I still felt like a pain. So then I called my mom and she was able to take me because my daughter was still little, and my husband in the apartment with my daughter so he can watch her. So the mom and my niece came with me to the hospital, and the doctors gave me a little container and he's like, pee in here, and I'm like, okay. So I did, I peed, and then he was taking forever to get here. So he was like, so he finally got to my room and he was like, have you done a pregnancy test? I'm like, no. I'm like, no. I'm pregnant. He's like, yeah, you're pregnant. And I was like, I was just in shock. I was in shock that I was pregnant. So I called my husband. I'm like, guess what? I'm pregnant. So then the doctors had told me, but something seems weird because your hormones are super high, and that's weird. So he's saying either something's not going on right, or you're having twins. And I was like, twins? So twins do run in our family. And so he was like, you need to make a doctor's appointment so they can check you. And I was like, okay. So I did, and they were not gonna see me until I was like 10 weeks pregnant. And I do have I have an aunt that is an ultrasound tech, and I had texted her and I'm like, are you able to do an ultrasound for me? She was like, yes, I can. And set up a day, and I showed up, and it was me, my mom, and another aunt that was pregnant too, so she wanted an ultrasound as well, and my aunt that does the ultrasound. So I was the first one to lay down on her bed, and she was checking on my babies, and then so baby A is Isaias, baby B is the other baby. So baby A looked perfectly fine. We can see the blood flow, we can see the heart. So then she went to baby B, and she like just kept looking for my baby, and then she was like, you know what, I'm gonna come back to baby B. And she went to baby A again, and she was like, he looks fine, he looks good, you know. So then she went back to baby B, and she was like, I would never in my life forget these words. It's just heartbreaking, the news that I got. She said baby B doesn't have a heartbeat. I was in shock. It was really hard. It was really hard on me. I really wanted my babies, but I'm so thankful Isaias is still here. So just baby B didn't make it. It's just a hard situation to go through. Losing a baby, it doesn't matter if you're early, it hurts. It really hurts, especially if you want the baby. So when I found out about that, she was like, you know, there's no more heartbeat. I called my husband, I called family members that I wasn't having twins no more. That baby B, there was no more heartbeat. And we were really sad. So then I'm gonna insert a picture right here of my ultrasounds with my two babies. So then I had to wait for my doctor to make an appointment for me I was about 10 weeks when I got a doctor's appointment. So the doctor was like, we're gonna do an ultrasound, okay? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And I already knew the baby didn't make it. So he was like, we see another sac, but there's nothing. And I already knew the baby was gonna vanish. So, and I didn't say anything. They were like, I think you were gonna have to, but the other one just didn't make it. And then, so time passed by, blah, blah, blah. I was a couple weeks, and then when I was 20 to 24 weeks, I was gonna find out what I was having. And I was so happy. I just wanted to know what he was or what she was. And I was just like, I hope, you know, my baby's healthy. That's all that matters, that your baby's healthy. So then we got there, and I laid down once again, and then the ultrasound tech, she was really friendly, she was really talkative, and we got really along. So then she put like, again, jelly on my belly, and like she was like, oh look, his toes, his hand, his lips, his mouth. And she was like, he's really active, he's kicking whatsoever. And I'm like, oh my god. So then and she was like, look, you can see his thingy, which is a boy. She was like, you're having a boy, congratulations. I'm like, oh my god, you know, I wanted a boy so bad because I already had my daughter. So then she was like, out of nowhere, she just stayed quiet. Like, it was silence. Like, I was like, what's wrong? What's going on? Is there something wrong? Literally, she stayed quiet, and I was like really, really, really silent. I was like, what's going on? So then she was like, I'll be back, I'm gonna go get the doctor. And I'm like, okay. So the doctor came in, and she was like, I don't want to scare you, but we think your baby has, once again, we heard not so good news. We didn't hear good news. So she was like, your baby might have congenital heart defect. I was like, what is that? She was like, his heart is not formed all the way. So I was like, what do you mean? I'm like, is he gonna be able to live? And by that time, she gave me like a percentage. There's a lot of babies that do make it, there's some that don't. But she's like, I don't want to scare you, he might be in the wrong position. But it was hard. It was really, really, really hard. I just didn't expect that news, especially after losing my other twin. And so then she was like, we're gonna refer you to another hospital, like 3 hours away. Is go to Indianapolis. We're gonna go to Riley Children's Hospital, and she was like, they know more, they're gonna give you more information. And I was like, okay. So the time got here, and I went to Indianapolis, and I saw a lot of doctors, a lot, literally a lot of doctors. I was in shock when I was like, there's so many doctors, it's crazy. So they did an ultrasound there once again, and they confirmed he has congenital heart defect. He has hypoplastic left heart syndrome, double outlet right ventricle, corrugation of the aorta, and mitral atresia as well. And so it's 4. He has 4 congenital heart defects. But I was drained. That doctor's appointment was the longest appointment I ever had. It was literally I got up. It was 5 a.m. through maybe 8 p.m., but it was the longest appointment in my life. They showed me 2 hospitals, Methodist Hospital where I was gonna deliver, and Riley Children's when they were gonna transfer him. So I wasn't able to have my son here in my local hospital. I would have to go to Indianapolis. So as time passed by, I would have to visit them frequently, and literally maybe like once a month or maybe twice a month. So then I would say maybe by 7.5, my doctors, no, I had one visit in Indianapolis, and the doctors had told me, you can't deliver in your local hospital because they don't have the equipment that your baby needs. And I was like, wait, what are you trying to say? So I have to come already? And she's like, yeah, she was like, yeah, next week you need to come here and stay at a apartment. We're gonna set everything for you. And I was like, okay. So I got literally everything for free. They helped me, and which I'm so blessed. I'm so thankful, because girl, it's so expensive. So yeah, they're like, you can't have them there. We need you to be here next weekend. And I was like, oh, I'm scared. I was really, really scared. I didn't know what to think or like what to feel, whatever. So that week passed. I had to pack my stuff, and I went to Indianapolis, and I got an apartment, and I was scared to stay by myself. So my husband stayed with me for a week. Yeah, for 1 week. He stayed for 1 week, so I had my daughter with me as well. And he had to come back home. He had to come back home because he had to work, and he brought my daughter. So those 2 weeks, my sister came with me. I'm also thankful that she stayed with me because I would feel so lonely and so sad. And so my husband would go on the weekends with my daughter, and that's when I would only see them on the weekends. So I was happy I would see them on the weekends, but once Sunday night got here, I was sad because I didn't want them to go home, but they had to. Time got here. I was 37 weeks when I had my son. They induced me, and nothing. He wouldn't come out. So I was maybe 1 day in pain trying to have him normal, and it didn't function. So they're like, we can't do anything else. We're gonna have to do a C-section. I'm like, yes, please, because this baby needs to be out already. So my husband didn't want to come in to the operator room, and it was my sister-in-law. She came with me, and so I got to the operator room, and I remember the nurse. It was a he. I felt like he didn't know how to put the epidural or something, because literally my leg would feel that pain. I was like, ow. I'm like, I was crying because I never got an epidural. I never got a C-section. With my daughter, everything was natural, and it was a beautiful feeling. I love doing natural birth. A C-section scares me. So I had my son C-section. So I got numbed, and when I was in the operator room, they cut you and whatnot. And once he was out, I would hear a lot of talking back and forth, and the doctors and the nurses were like, something about his ears. And I'm like, what's wrong with his ears? And my sister-in-law, she didn't want to tell me anything, and I was like, something about his ears. I didn't understand. So they're like, his ears, like they were just saying his ears, and I'm like, his ears didn't form. So once I was like, can I see it? And once they got him closer to me, I seen his ears didn't form as well. So that was another situation I had to go through. But they are gonna repair his ears. I'm hoping once he's older. Has conductive hearing loss. It's they also call it, I think it's microtia. I'm not sure, but I think it's microtia. So I still think he can hear a little bit, because when I call his name, he literally turns, and he also wears a little baja, which brings like voices. He can hear us with that little machine. So then about that too, and they took me to the recovery room, and I literally saw him for a couple seconds, and they had to take him right away because he needed to be on oxygen, and they had to evaluate like how he was doing, his heart, his oxygen, make sure he was perfectly fine. If not, they wouldn't have to do surgery right away. He was 5 pounds 4 inches, and he was tiny. He was a tiny baby. I will insert a picture right here. They switched me to a different room, and I told my mom, am I able to go see my baby? And she asked the nurse, and they're like, yeah, we can take her. And they took me in a wheelchair, and I was so excited to see him. And I wanted to hold him, but he was so tiny, the most tiniest little thing, little tiny human being. He was so little, and I was so scared to touch him. And I did changed his diaper. I will leave another insert picture right here. So it was the beautifulest thing. I just wanted to take him home. We had to make sure he was healthy, and he was perfectly fine. So then we talked to the doctors, and we got thrown like a lot of information in our faces, a lot. It was draining. I was like, wait, can you repeat that again? Like, I didn't know what you just said. Like, big words that I did not understand. So I had to tell the doctors, wait, what is that? Can you explain it to me in a shorter phrase? And they're like, yeah, my baby's a strong baby. He will pull through so much. He's so strong. I've never met a baby like him. So then 7 days passed. He had surgery. I would insert another picture right here, and he did perfectly fine. We were there for 1 month. He had the surgery is called P-band surgery or repair. It's like a band that they tighten the artery so the blood flow, so he won't get excess blood flow to his lungs. And the cortication repair, that is for his aorta was narrowed, so they had to balloon it so it can stretch. Yeah, they did that. So they went through like his side right here. So he was doing fine, and he was in the hospital for 1 month. Then we got to go home October 1st. Yeah, October 1st of 2017. And so he was born September 6th. So yeah, he was there for 1 month. I took him home. He was doing perfectly fine, but he would get sick. He would get like the cold, so we would go to our local hospital. But like I said, they don't have all the appointments for my son, so they always transfer us to Riley Children's Hospital. So that's the good thing. I love that they always transfer him there because he is a hypoplastic baby. And with hypoplastic babies, you do not play. You do not play. And when it's about him, yeah, I don't play either. So make sure. I'm just kidding. But yeah, literally. So yeah, he would like get sick, and they would send us to Riley, but he was doing fine. They also, when he was maybe, I don't know how old was he, they also removed his adenoids because he has breathing problems. He does have obstructive sleep apnea, which means sometimes he holds his breath when he's sleeping. His oxygen drops, and that's not good for him, so he wears a CPAP, and he does not. We need to find a way that he can leave it on. Then that passed. So months later, when he's about 9 months, he does get another open heart surgery. This time they do open up his chest, and he did get the hemifontan, And that's a big surgery too, the hemifontaine. I don't know how to explain it, but you can Google it if you want. Hemifontaine, and he got the DKS. That's another procedure. We went to his cardiology doctor appointment, and she had told me that they weren't gonna do the hemifontaine yet because his pressures were too high, and so he was gonna need a separate surgery. So he was gonna get the DKS first. A couple months later, the hemifontaine. But then his surgeon, which I am so thankful. I'm so blessed that that's his surgeon. He saved my son's life. He did do the hemifontaine, so he got 2 surgeries. He got the DKS and the hemifontaine. So, yeah, his surgeon was like, "Yeah, we did it. He's perfect. He's doing so good." And his surgeon doctor is kind of awkward. He is amazing. He's amazing. Literally, he's amazing. He also did one of my cousin's heart surgery as well. And so I'm like, oh my God. My cousin, she's either 20 or 21, and they have the same surgeon. So when my aunt asked me about who was his surgeon, I said Dr. Turntine. He was like, "Are you serious?" Like, yeah. I was like, oh my God. So yeah, the same surgeon. So then my son had gotten that surgery. So they took him to the operator room, and it took
maybe about... My neighbor's playing the grass
while I'm doing my video. Anywho, so my son was in the operator room for about 3 to 4 hours, I would say. I did not want to let him go. I did not. And I'm like, oh my God. I was getting so used to him, so used to carrying him, being with him. So it was really hard to let go. And it's hard, guys. Literally so hard. So yeah, he went to the operator room. We waited for him. We would get updates, and they're like, he's doing fine. He's off bypass. He's this and that. So the surgeon got to the waiting room, and he's like, Isaias did perfectly fine. He's gonna go to the recovery room in about an hour. You can go see him. So I was waiting. We went up to level 3. We were in the waiting room once again. I was so anxious to go see him. I was like, oh my God, when are they gonna call us? So I literally went to the place where they at in the intensive care unit, and I was like, do you know when we're gonna be able to see Isaias? They're like, yeah, give us a couple minutes and you're gonna be able to see him. So then I waited a couple minutes. They came for us, and we got in his room, and I literally started to cry. I will insert a picture of him right here. I literally started to cry seeing him like that. We talked to the nurse, and she was like, he hasn't moved whatsoever. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah, he hasn't moved. And then once we started to talk to him, God, he moved those legs. He had tears. I started to cry with him too. I told him, I'm like, Papi, you're so strong. I'm here for you. I'm never gonna leave your side. And here I am with my babies. I would never leave him. I told my husband, I don't care if my son's 50, 60, 70 years old, I will be here for him. It doesn't matter. I'm like, I will always be here for them. Even for my daughter, I will always be here. So then I told the doctors if I can hold him. They're like, yeah, you can hold him. And I had gotten like 2 pillows. He was a big baby. So he was really swollen and really swollen from his face. I'm gonna insert another picture here. We were in the hospital for 13 days, literally 13 days. I was like, he recovered so good. His scar looks so damn good. He's a strong boy, literally a strong boy. So then he had surgery for that, and we're home. He's recovering, he's thriving, he's achieving milestones. He's walking. He's delayed on physical and also like on speech. So we do have first steps. He takes first steps, which he gets a physical, occupation, and speech. He also gets like another lady that does sign language. We're taking sessions for sign language. I'm also learning to do sign language, so I'm kind of excited as well. At first I was so nervous, but here I am trying to learn. So he's doing pretty fine, guys. I will update you guys on his doctor visits, on his doctor's appointments, so that way you guys can stay updated and informed of how he's doing in general and health wise. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you guys like this little video. So if you guys like it, give it a thumbs up. Would you guys like me to record like his doctor's visits? If so, leave comments below. Make sure you subscribe and give it a like and share. Make sure your notifications are on. So there's like a little bell button somewhere around here. Make sure you turn that on. So yeah, see you guys next time.